Oseo.
Oseo.
Cherokee greeting. Wave the great feather for the good of it. Dona, dona, dona. In the darkened clouds above, the sound of summer thunder. Dona, dona, dona. Again and again he sounds. Dona, dona, dona. The voice of thunder, eagle. Eyes cannot see it. Speech cannot describe it. The mind cannot conceive it. We know not, nor can we imagine how to convey it. Thus have we heard from the illumined ones who have told of it. So if we can realize it here, then truth exists. Otherwise, we are only loose, floating, falling feathers with no body. The wise who have seen the Thunderbird in all things, upon leaving this earth, they are transformed into the Thunderbird. Dona, dona, dona. Okay, you see, that's the theme that we're starting with here. Thunderbird, Thunder Eagle, it's the same. It is the native sovereign of Native America, the chief of Native American body of the pluralistic First Nations. It is utterly different, free, and independent of any foreign installations brought here by the Europeans. It doesn't need any offerings or prayers to it or anything like that. All it is that we only need to remember that each one of us is the feather body of Wakinyan, the Thunderbird. So this is all the theme of the way that we're speaking here. And I've brought as many things together as I can to speak of this. Starting with this one we're looking at. This is a sculpture made by Claudia, who's behind the camera. It is the surmounting figure of the totem pole. The totem pole is in the front of here Coyote's Creation Lodge, and there is a coyote underneath that, and who's underneath that is a beaver and another character and a turtle at the bottom. It's a wonderful, wonderful sculpture. Totem poles basically are either animal lineage or they are clan. They are clan lineages. And the northwest coast up here is mainly, up there, Washington, Oregon, up into Canada, is mainly the place of these. The Thunderbird is very, very prominent, a very ancient and we could say pretty powerful clan or lineage up there. And the early totem poles were about the size of Claudia's, which is about, maybe 5 feet or so here. And then if we go up here, this is another piece from there. Some years ago, I think by now maybe 20 years or so, there was a master carver, I don't remember which exact nation, but there, the northwest coast we call it, was Cherokee. A Cherokee man and his family were doing, the traditional carvings. And we know about him because we were members of the Museum of Man, and he and his family appeared there as guests and brought many of their things, their carvings and anything. And so this is the Thunderbird mask, I would call it, from there. And it's a really wonderful piece to have here. So all of this is the Thunderbird. When we look up here now, this is my piece. In Native America, dreams and visions are culturally significant, very culturally significant. And in Cherokee we say a recognition is the way that we inherit. And for me, in that case, it was the vision ancestors. We have a vision ancestor, and for me, it was what I'm saying here is a thunder eagle. And how that thunder eagle would appear to me would be in it like a vision, we will call it, of a eagle with a thunderbolt under it. And that would be the way Galona is the Cherokee name for him. And that is the way that would appear to me. So when I look at this piece here, you see I have the thunder eagle, Thunderbird, with the lightning bolt. So I made that piece here. And then here is another eagle shield or shield cover column that I made for the Thunderbird. So the Thunderbird is very, I'm going to say very ubiquitous throughout Native America. The character, I suppose that's the right thing to say, Don Juan, I want to show you this book. Carlos Castaneda had written a series of books, started out with the teachings of Don Juan Ayaki and so forth. So of course, to say that he is a person in Mexico, a person of the Mexican world and so forth. And so the title of this book, is The Eagle's Gift. And so I'm just going to use a bit of an illustration from that. In Mexico, the hallmark of ancient Mexico is the feathered serpent and the jaguar. I have not at all come across an eagle there. In Turtle Island, or we call North America, any of that kind of thing, then we're saying the hallmark here is the eagle, the thunderbird, and the buffalo. So it's very interesting that I have surmised on my own that the teachings of Don Juan, while may be merged with something of ancient Mexico, is also, to me, decidedly stemming from North America. An urban center that we had in Illinois, where Illinois is given the name of Cahokia. I think it was about 1,000 years ago. And what we know of it is it was a big urban center here in Native America, and shamanism is a kind of a modern word. Everybody has their own word. I never came across it in Cherokee. But anything, that's a medicine person like that, which are individuals, within that group, that society like that have something extraordinary that contribute, to the group like that. In Cahokia, this became evidently systematized in a kind of system. Something very similar to it is in the Navajo with a chanter called the Hatali, because it is a system, and it is a system where the individual chanters decidedly learn it from a forerunner or a teacher as a tradition. And there's hundreds of those chants, or chant ways as we call them. So it's an example of that. So in what I'm saying here with Don Juan is that he says it again and again, it's a tradition. What he's teaching his apprentice is a tradition, and I surmise it has also stemmed from Native America, Cahokia. So I want to say that because in the view of the eagle, which certainly is a description of the Thunderbird, he is saying in this that the power that governs the destiny of all living beings is called the eagle, not because it is an eagle or has anything to do with an eagle, but because the seers see in this jet black immeasurability something that looks like an eagle, and it's immeasurably high and all like that, and electrical discharges that go off in it, like lightning bolts we will call them, show different features of the eagle, the contour of it, the feathers, the wings, the talons, the piercing eye, and all of that. That's what the seers, as he refers to them, have made of this, that they're calling here the eagle. This is all, the author claims all this is being translated from Spanish. So the eagle would be more like Todopoderoso, the all-powerful or the almighty would be more the Spanish rendering of the águila. That's my opinion. It's not stated here. But also very interesting is saying what the eagle is doing. The eagle is all about awareness, and every living thing has some awareness. And when whatever it is, we or anything else, comes to the end of our life, that awareness, like a little flame, is released. And the eagle gathers those. It actually says they float and float up like a swarm of fireflies into his enormous beak. That means that awareness, here we're called the image of little flames, is his food. So that's what it is. He also, in this view, is granting something. He's not at all moved by the circumstances of anybody or anything, but he is allowing a gift. He, meaning Wakinian, the Thunderbird, eagle, like that. And that's freedom. That there is a opening, we call it, that a being could go through for freedom. And he's also evidently ordained that if any being wants to retain his little flame of awareness, he can do so and perhaps, not have to die. I think probably what it means, the way I read that, is something like you see in the Olympic races, that somebody is passing the torch of awareness back, and that way that it continues, because he does say the purpose of the eagle is the perpetration of awareness. And for that, he has also, the eagle, and this eagle has created a figure called here by the Aztec name Nahual. In Aztec, the word Nahual has no etymologies in any other languages, is used as, an animal double. So you could understand it, animal disguise, animal double, or anything like that. Don Juan uses that word in a more expanded sense, dimension, described here exactly as a double being. A double being, and this double being has an urge or a predilection to find that opening and guide other people to that opening. Basically, it would seem the novel would also be a shaman in Native America. So all that gives some idea. The cover of this book, this issue of it, does show an eagle